What's up, y'all, and welcome to another installment of the For the Gram podcast. This is a show where I, Jaksyn, your host, am going to take you through a topic of interest to me, whether that's something new happening in the world lately, something that's kind of like a hip trend happening, or just some random news that I find interesting. But in the end, it's all going to be relevant enough for the gram. This week is a very special episode. I've been doing this for 15 episodes so far, and I wanted to do something really, really special for episode 15. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest on the podcast, Mr. Coleton Pringle.
Thank you, Jaksyn. I've been waiting to be on here for a while now, so I'm glad you asked me.
That's super exciting. And you've never done a podcast before, so
no.
This is a learning experience for you, I guess.
Exactly.
So first of all, do you want to tell the listeners at home a little bit about you? Who is Coleton Pringle?
Man, there's a few different things. I'll keep it clean. Basically, no, I also do media arts here with Jaksyn here at Bethany. We're both involved in theater too. Love movies, love films, love being outside. I live right now in Lake Crystal, so it's, longer drive, not too bad. What else do you usually say? I mean,
what else do I usually say? I normally talk for 45 minutes. So
I guess, what else do I do? I've always enjoyed making films and movies. And so when I got here to Bethany and realized we had such a cool program here, I was like, man, we could do some fun stuff. And so my first kind of take on that was actually with Jaksyn when we made a Red Eye film together. It was a romance, and it was cute. I loved it. We won Best Story, and ever since then, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's just make films for fun. I love it.
Do you remember when we met?
No,
we met the mixer first day of freshman year.
Oh, really?
We moved in, and we met on the campus green, and I walked up to you because I'm an introverted extrovert, and so I walked up to you and I was like, hey, I'm Jaksyn, nice to meet you. And you go, I'm Coleton, what's your major? And I go, media arts. And you go, oh, really? I'm thinking of switching mine to that.
First day of freshman year, and I wasn't sure about my major.
First day of freshman year, coming as a business admin major.
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
Oh man,
I'm glad I switched.
It's exciting. At first glance, the first film we really made together. Talk a little bit about that. What did you like about that project that really propelled you into the path you're on now?
So I actually saw Red Eye originally my freshman year, and that's what really kicked me off getting into media arts. And I saw your Lemon one.
My buddy comedy?
Yeah. With William Stadelmeyer. And that was a huge take on me. I'm like, you know what? I might as well get into that. And so I always have done acting and theater. I was kind of acting in high school, never directed. I made like little films by myself just for the heck of it. But then, I hit sophomore year and I'm like, you know what? Go for it. Then we made our Red Eye film, got to direct that. Super fun, super collaborative with everyone. Very stressful because we had that 1 week, and I have never made a film on that level before, and also never used any of the editing software. I really didn't know anything, to be honest with you. I just knew what the vision was and what I wanted, and it was really fun to work with you and Holly and Matthew and everyone on that. That was a good time. So after that, it was like, yeah, hey, let's do it.
The programs here, like super, super in depth on storytelling and the importance of creating your vision. And so like hearing that side of things is something that not everybody gets to experience a lot of the time. And so it's like, for me at least, my theater background has been like a huge impact on my media arts journey. And so it's like, I can't really direct deliberately, but I'm like, this is what I would do if I was acting it.
Exactly.
And you can attest to this. We were up at 12:30 in the morning some days teaching one of my good friends how to look at the camera. We were just like, every take was like, okay, so everything except that face you made at the end, perfect. But like, we got to fix that a little bit.
And that's the fun part about it. It sounds super weird, but that's the really fun part about it. It's such a grind, and you want to make it perfect. And then all of a sudden, when it hits, it's like satisfaction that you just don't really get elsewhere.
Yeah,
it's almost addicting. It's weird.
It is, yeah. And it's like those subtle tweaks too, where it's like you just adjust something a tiny little bit and then it works.
Yeah,
and
right?
You're like, don't switch it back, don't do it. That's a little bit on Coleton. So now we're going to talk about the main theme of this episode, which the elephant in the room. Thanksgiving is on Thursday. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I don't know about you, Coleton, but like, in my opinion, everybody in the world is a retail store and they skip right from Halloween to Christmas. And I'm like, stop that. There's another like 3 holidays in here before we get there. Like, come on,
that's
slow it down.
so true. You know, I never even thought about that. I went to Hobby Lobby today and it's already Christmas, and it was like that too before Halloween. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's been like the Christmas decorations were up like in October. Yeah. Honestly, if arson wasn't illegal, there would be so many buildings ablaze right now. But it's like, I understand like the spirit of it and all that, but Thanksgiving, man, like I think there's no other holiday that's as family central as Thanksgiving, even Christmas. Like Christmas is like that naturally recognized time of year where everybody like comes together. Like you celebrate with this side of the family, you celebrate with this side of the family. Thanksgiving is like more of that, but it's like a month earlier and you get overshadowed by the holiday spirit and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so you slave away in a kitchen for 24 hours and you have like the guys of the family doing some things, the gals of the family doing other things. And like in the end, you are never more united than you are as a family on Thanksgiving.
And I hate to be that guy, but I'm a huge Christmas fan, like massive Christmas fan. However, it wouldn't be as huge without Thanksgiving, because my family, we got all those crazy traditions that we do, you know, like during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That sets up for Christmas. And between Thanksgiving and that and Christmas time is like maybe my favorite time of the entire year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know?
Thanksgiving is the setup for the punchline that is Christmas.
Yes. Exactly. See?
I have grappled with the difficulty of, do you listen to Christmas music when?
So what are you? What's your take on that?
I'm a Black Friday guy. You gotta wait.
Fair enough.
If it's like I've been in choir all my life and we started singing Christmas music every year in the middle of October, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like we play, like the band at our college was playing the closing hymn of our Christmas concert, and I almost like started crying. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's so
right
true
now?
though. They do,
I'm like, come on. I get it. Thanksgiving doesn't have its own set of music, but on the other hand, there are 12 days of Christmas, none of which are in October. I can give a little bit of a slide to November, but if you start listening to Christmas music in October, like, come on now.
I did this really weird thing one year where I started in August. I started playing in August. It was super crazy. I needed to get in the Christmas spirit. And then right after Christmas hit, that in between time between Christmas and New Year's was painful to listen to Christmas music, because it was just too much, you know, at that point.
It's just ingrained in the fiber of your being. It's like,
ever since then, can't.
Yeah.
It's too much.
But it's like my favorite Christmas songs are all Advent hymns, so it's like I can't really say anything about that.
Yeah.
I think Mariah Carey can stay hibernating in her cave until after Thanksgiving.
Some news article, apparently Disney owns Thanksgiving and Christmas now. This is a joke, by the way.
Crazy. It's not real. It's not real. It's a bit.
But they could, you know.
They very well could. I'm going to go off on a little tangent really quick, but like when Peanuts was sold to Apple, I was kind of sad because the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is a masterpiece and it was made in the 60s. And Thanksgiving Charlie Brown is arguably one of my favorites out of the Charlie Brown holiday specials. And then the Christmas Charlie Brown is, no joke, one of my favorite Christmas like media forms ever. And then the good part about it was they were all on network television. They were all over the air. Anybody with like an antenna in their house could watch them at any time. And then they sold them to Apple. It's a super elitist group of people who can watch them. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? You're making me buy your crappy platform just so I can watch this. But anyway, the Charlie Brown specials are now only available on Apple TV Plus for public access unless you pirate them, which I never condone piracy. Wink.
Wink, wink.
You can't see me, but I'm winking at Coleton right now. But it's like I bought them on DVD. I have all three of them now. And so it's like I bought the Thanksgiving one just so I could have the Mayflower special, because even though everybody didn't like that one, I was like, this is like history. And I was like the history kid growing up. So it was like, look at that. Charlie Brown's on the Mayflower. I know him.
I forgot he was there in 1492. Is that right?
I don't think it is. I don't know the actual year, so I'm not going to fact check you on that, but I know for a fact it's remember when Linus talked to Squanto and was like, come over here and have this? But I will say something about the Thanksgiving Charlie Brown that I will always like glorify is the ping pong scene when Snoopy is trying to set up the ping pong table for everybody to like sit at. That is one of the most genius scenes in all of sound design history. And I love it so much because I'm just like, it's just Snoopy by himself trying to unfold a ping pong table, but it's hilarious. And then another thing about that special is that the food looks unrealistically delicious. And I don't know what it is about 2D animation, but in 2D animation, there are some shows and movies that make the food look way better than it actually is in real life. Like I want
kind of facts.
Like I want that pumpkin pie
right
from the end credit scene of the Thanksgiving Charlie Brown. It's this massive pumpkin pie with a big old like hunk of whipped cream in the center of it, and Snoopy and Woodstock have these like massive pieces of it, and I'm like, that slice of pie is bigger than Woodstock. How does he eat all of that? And then it's like another thing is they cook a lot in that special, but it's not your normal everyday Thanksgiving food. It's toast and popcorn and
everything a man could want,
everything a person could want. It's carbs and more carbs.
Yeah, and
then jelly beans to round out the food pyramid.
That's Thanksgiving. Yeah.
And that's Thanksgiving. And then it's like I want the toaster from the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, the one that has like the sides that like open up and
there you
just
go.
Like psh,
yeah.
and it's like a little pyramid type thing, and it just like closes on the sides, and then like the toast like flies out of it, and I'm just like, it's awesome. Why don't I have one of these?
But going off of food then for Thanksgiving, what's your take on eggnog?
Ooh,
are you a fan?
Okay, eggnog is interesting. Okay. I never really had it until a couple years ago. I was never an eggnog family.
This is crazy to me.
I know.
Okay.
But the first time I had eggnog was my senior year of high school, which was crazy. And I'm just like, why have I not had this before?
Then all the secrets of mankind became known to you at that moment. Yeah.
I've been enlightened.
Yeah.
Eggnog with like a little sprinkle of nutmeg on top of it is phenomenal. I love it.
Agreed.
Like,
but is that too Christmassy then for Thanksgiving?
To me, it's just like it's a warm beverage, so I would classify it in like the cider category.
Have you ever had it cold though? Like
I have, yeah.
So what do you prefer?
Literally like a week ago. I prefer it warm, if I'm being completely honest, which is apparently not everybody's way to go about it.
I'm just used to having it cold. I mean, I like it either way, but yeah.
Like it's a difficult thing, but the first time I had it warm, which was probably why I like it the most, is because that's like the first experience to it. And then it's like, I had it cold and I'm like, okay, this is good, but can I like warm it really quick?
Put some nutmeg on there.
Put some nutmeg on there. I have a little thing of nutmeg next to my fridge, and I have a half gallon of eggnog in there right now, and I just go.
Perfect.
It's great. It's great.
Hey, do you still have that fizz maker?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
my Soda Stream.
Yeah, I think about that all the time. Every time I need some fizz in my drink, I'm like, oh, if Jaksyn was here.
You know what is really good for my Soda Stream is if my carbonated drinks ever go flat, I can just pop it in that baby and just goes.
That's so perfect.
Like, it tasted a little tinny at first.
Really?
It was weird to get used to. It tasted a little metallic, but that's just because of the canister.
Okay.
It's a CO2 canister. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up SodaStream right now. It saved my life. I'm not a coffee drinker. It's not just like a soda thing either. You can put Gatorade in there and fizz up your Gatorade. You can people put a lot of weird things.
What about like water? Like what if you put water in there?
Just normal water?
Yeah.
Works just as good. It tastes a little odd, but like sparkling water is like a thing.
That would be super cool though.
Yeah. Like I can make my own, like, like bubbly is what it's called. Like the Michael Bublé endorsed sparkling water.
The Bublé.
Yeah. They sell little travel sized bottles of the flavoring for that. And you can just pour a couple drops in there and then you can flavor it up. And then it flavors the whole thing. And I'm like, what? How did 3 drops just do that? After I just tilt it 3 times. That's crazy.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't drink coffee, and so like a Keurig would not be beneficial to me. But everybody has a Keurig, and I'm just like,
so many people do.
Yeah.
I even have one now.
Yeah, and so it's like I just got a SodaStream. It's cheaper, and
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
If I had the space for one, I totally would use it.
Yeah.
It's
so nice. The SodaStream itself is like, I think it was $90 when I bought it.
Okay.
And then it comes with 2 carbon dioxide canisters in the box to start with.
Okay, nice.
And then and that's worth 40 liters, I think, which is kind of a lot.
That actually is, yeah.
And like that lasts you a long time. Like I have only ever bought, I think, 2 new ones in the 4 years I've had mine. So
that's impressive.
So yeah, it's like, and it's normally pretty versatile. And so what you do is you just go back to like Target or Walmart or wherever you want them and just be like, hey, I have this one. And they're like, okay. And then you go and you buy the other one for like less than, like a little bit more than half of what it would normally cost, which is still a pretty good deal. It's like a propane exchange.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's like, would you rather get a whole new canister, or would you just want to like reuse an old one? And it's like, I'm fine using that one.
It's perfect.
But yeah, it's super nice. Going back to Thanksgiving foods, what is your go-to? What is the one that you walk up to the counter with all the food laid on it? What is the one thing you're going to before anything else?
I love myself a mean green bean casserole. I crave that stuff. So good. Especially like the crunchy, like, onions on top or whatever. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Green bean casserole is another one of the things that my family was a late bloomer to. Because I have 4 siblings, and so it's a very picky family. And we're very particular about certain things. Like my aunt has a poultry allergy. So it's hard to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. So I've always just grown up with ham like
That's a pretty
at
good, you know.
Thanksgiving.
That's Thanksgiving.
Because my aunt's allergic to poultry, and so
Yeah.
it's like you can't have chicken, you can't have turkey.
Yeah.
It's a hard lifestyle to live, I can imagine. But it's like green bean casserole. My family, we sub out a new side every single year, I think. For the past like 7 years, we've just been like, let's try this thing. This is popular. Like last year we had mac and cheese on Thanksgiving, which I never knew was a thing. I was like,
I don't know if it is, but it works.
I was like, you have mac and cheese on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Cool. let's make a baked mac and cheese. But green bean casserole, I could get down with some green bean
I
casserole.
will say I went to Thanksgiving one year though, and I had one family member. I had one family member that brought green bean casserole, but it was sour, and I tasted it, and I was really excited about it too because it was green bean casserole.
Yeah.
And I take a bite of it. I spit it out immediately. It threw me off so much. I was like, oh, I felt terrible, but I'm not sure what they did to it.
What did you do? What did you do to
how you make sour green bean casserole? If anyone knows, let me know.
If you
I'm
know
curious.
how to make a fermented green bean
Yeah,
casserole.
what do you have to do to get to that point?
Why does it taste sour? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's a weird flavor to expect from a green bean casserole. Just bite into it, just like, that's not that's not what I expected it to be.
It threw me off.
It is. Ooh, it's hard to do wrong, but
Yeah.
I guess you can. Are you a pie guy?
Yeah, I think I am. I'd rather pie over cake usually. I feel like pecan.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to say it. Whatever pie, that's my favorite for sure.
Yeah.
Pumpkin's pretty good.
It's a very fall pie is pumpkin. I think pecan, whatever, whatever floats your boat. I think that's more of a holiday pie. I would expect to see that. I would never expect to see like an apple pie on Thanksgiving because I would understand it.
Yeah, but it's fall.
Yeah, it's a fall thing, but it's like I would never be like, oh, I'm going to a holiday gathering. I'm gonna get some apple pie.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why I like it too, because it's like a holiday pie.
It's a special pie,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your go-to then?
I'm a chocolate pudding pie kind of a dude.
Oh,
that one's fun with graham cracker crust because I'm a cannibal.
Good point.
But if I get the pie of my choice, it's coconut cream pie. But that is not a very holiday centric pie. So
it's all right. It's a good pie though.
That is one of my favorite pies.
It's a good one
because I'm a big coconut guy.
Yeah.
Which is not everybody's favorite thing. So sometimes I just get to eat 4 slices of coconut cream pie because nobody else wants it.
Oh no.
But pecan pie is really good when it's warm. I really love me a good pecan pie. It's a sugary pie that you wouldn't expect it to be. Like pecans are a very sugary tree nut. And I don't understand what goes into that. It's like almonds kind of. They have like a
little
sweetness to them.
Right? Apparently you can make milk out of them too and whatever else now. It's
one of my favorite combinations. So I'm a Culver's guy when it comes to pumpkin spice flavored stuff. My go-to in the fall season is a pumpkin Oreo concrete mixer. But I would love the first one I ever had was pumpkin pecan, and that was my favorite thing. And then they never brought it back, and I was furious. I was like, are you kidding me right now? This is such a logical flavor combination. Why? Like, it gives you the crunch, it gives you the sweetness. And so it's like, I guess I have to settle for Oreos. But it's like, it's the thing where it's like every time I order it, the person behind the counter goes, what? That sounds amazing. I gotta try that.
Yeah.
I just go,
I've never thought of that before, but
yeah, it's like what can go good with pumpkin? Something sweet, something like I want to say spicy, but like not like hot spicy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Just got a spice to it.
Like herb spicy.
Yeah.
If that makes it. Like ground spices. Like
Yep.
cinnamon, nutmeg, something like that. Like pumpkin gingerbread would be a really good
You ever had that?
Christmas combination. No.
I haven't either.
But
I like that idea.
I feel like molasses would go really well with pumpkin. Just the sweetness aspect to it that like pecans have, but it would also give you like a slight crunch, but it would be like a pie crust type of a thing. I should make a gingerbread crusted pumpkin pie.
There we go.
There we go.
Let's do it.
Make it happen.
We're gonna start a cooking show next week. Okay?
So this time on the For the Graham cooking show, how many things can we put on graham crackers before they taste bad?
That'd be entertaining. I'd watch that. Like a YouTube.
I would love to watch it. I would hate to eat. It's like when you look at the back of like a Ritz cracker box, and it's like, these are all the things that people are doing with Ritz crackers, and I'm like, who is going out of their way to put a piece of salmon on a Ritz cracker? Like you have the money to buy the salmon, and you're putting it on a Ritz cracker.
Right? Yeah, like what's the point? That's so dumb. And they put it like on the box sometimes too, like, ooh, it looks gourmet.
It's like, oh, look at this.
Okay, it's like, a Ritz cracker.
You can make a savory Ritz cracker, and I'm like,
right?
Ritz crackers are already savory, but you don't have to make them anymore. One of my friends, his grandparents made little cookies out of Ritz crackers, and so what you do is you take a Ritz cracker and you spread peanut butter on it, and you sandwich it with another Ritz cracker, and then you douse the thing in chocolate. And it's like, the peanut butter Girl Scout cookies, that's what they taste like, but they're probably way cheaper than you could probably buy all of the ingredients to make like several batches of them for the same amount of money that you would have to spend on one box of Girl Scout cookies, because I think they're $8 now.
New way to pay for college is you and I make these things and stand outside of Walmart and see how many we can sell.
I think so. Here's the thing with Girl Scout cookies. There's a reason no one copies their business model. You buy them 1 month out of the year from little girls standing outside of supermarkets, who are very persistent, might I add. People always try to get out of it by going, oh, I'll buy some on the way out. And then if you walk out and they see you, they will chase you through the parking lot and be like, you said you would buy some.
Yeah, no, they're pretty vocal about everything.
Like, I mean, I guess we're shaping the future leaders of America right here. Just like, how persistent can you be in trying to sell somebody this $8 box of cookies? And my mom told me this story. She works in a grocery store, and so she was offered to buy a box of Girl Scout cookies, and the sales pitch, I kid you not, was you can buy one box for $8, or you can buy 3 for $24.
Oh, dude, they're getting people.
It's like I don't see a deal there. It's like there's not a deal monetarily, but you get 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, and I'm just like,
crazy.
What? Like,
what were they thinking?
What kind of a business model is that?
Yeah,
like you could buy this one for this price, or you could buy 3 for 3 times the price of the first box.
That's all you have to do.
That's all you got to do. Just fork over a little extra money, and then you'll be fine. And like post-COVID, I would have thought that they would have at least started a website or something. Just be like, hey,
that's a good point.
Fill it out on the website, and that way, in like this social media driven world, let's like push it out there. It's like Facebook people will eat that alive. They'll just be like, okay, Girl Scout cookie time, like fill out this form and you'll get some. And it's like, cool. And then that way it can ship directly to your house, and so the people don't have to find you. And yeah, it's a very flawed business plan. I respect what they're doing, but at the same time, it feels a little scammy.
It's a bit, yeah. I probably won't get involved.
Yeah. Before we close out, do you have any final Thanksgiving things to talk about before we move on from that. Any fun traditions that you have? Anything?
So our family has a really cool after Thanksgiving Day tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, the day after Thanksgiving, my family and we will go out and get our Christmas tree. It's called tree cutting day, you know?
Yeah.
So we go out and I'll bring my saxophone. And ever since I was in like 5th grade, I'll take my saxophone out and we're about to chop down everyone's tree and I'll play "Oh Christmas Tree," and then our whole family will gather up, hold hands, and sing "Oh Christmas Tree," but it's in German, so "O Tannenbaum."
Oh.
And my grandpa's the only one that knows the lyrics. Everyone else goes. There's this part where it goes "bladder," and that's in German. That's what it is. Yeah. So everyone will scream that part super loud, cutting down the tree. And I'm just playing with my little saxophone, freezing my fingers off. But yeah, ever since 5th grade, that's kind of what we've done.
Have you considered fingerless gloves for your saxophone?
You know, I should try that, actually. That would make it a lot easier. I think usually, I'll have my gloves on and then I'll pull it off and then my reed's like all broken too and everything. It's quite a mess. It's fun.
Like hearing all these people talk about like tree trimming and stuff, I'm like, that sounds so fun. Like,
do you have a fake tree?
Yeah. Because I'm allergic, so it's like I can't have that in my house. Yeah. My family learned that very early on. We used to do natural, but it's like after having it in the house for a week, they're like, "Jaksyn's sneezing again. This is not good." Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, seasonal allergies, not my friend." But like I love, like there's a tree farm not too far from my house, so like I get to smell them driving through my hometown, which is super fun. Mm-hmm. But it's like everybody has like all these family traditions of like cutting down trees and stuff like that, and I'm like, it sounds so fun. I just wish I could do it without dying.
It is fun for like the 30 minutes, and then you're like really cold, and you just want to go home.
Yeah, you're just like, let's be done with it.
And then you got to make sure you get like you got to make sure you get into the tree stand, perfectly, and then water it well, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go back to a natural tree, but it's like, oh, this might be bad. But yeah, it'll be that's a super fun thing. My family, we decorate, since my older sister and I have gone off to college, we would decorate the weekend after Thanksgiving. They, against my better judgment, they want to decorate earlier, and I say, if I come home to Christmas decorations, I am driving back to school. It's like, and then we eat all of our Thanksgiving food around noon on the Thursday, and then at like 7:00 at night we make a frozen pizza and we watch the first Christmas movie of the season, which almost every time is Home Alone. Home Alone 1, which is just a classic.
It is.
And we've watched it every year for the past 9 years. It's going on.
Huh.
It's crazy. And I'm just like, I feel like I'd be sick of this movie by now, but there's still jokes that I find that I'm missing every time I watch it. And so I'm like, hey, there you go. But yeah, it's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. But like most people will watch the football game or like go out into the snow, which we have snow.
I know.
That's like, I was talking to my roommate the other day. I was like, we are 2 weeks out from December and we don't have snow yet.
Yeah, it's so strange. And I've been looking forward to snow,
Like snow is mildly inconvenient, but I do love it.
Yeah, it's just pretty.
Yeah. And then people who have traveled to Minnesota the past couple of years have been like, you're lying. Winter is not ever bad here. Like, if winter's always like this, I would love to move here. Right. It's just like, what?
I will say, so I lived in Wisconsin for many years, and winter up here just sucks more just because it's cold. Yeah. There's more snow in Wisconsin, but up here it's just cold.
Yeah. See, I lived in North Dakota the majority of my life, which people here are wimps compared to North Dakotans.
I believe that.
Like, I'll be talking to some of my family back over there, and they're just like, so how's the weather over there? And we're like, it's cold. It's like 13 degrees outside. And my aunt would go, that's cold. here it's a -5 before wind chill. And I'm like, oh, geez.
Crazy.
Because you have Canada and the river and all that sort of stuff that's just like trapping it there.
Yep.
And I'm just like, do I love North Dakota winters? Yeah, I did. Because we had so much snow. Like here, it just gets icy. And it's bad. Like, I don't like that. But, you know, it's kind of fun to just sit and enjoy a peaceful snowfall. In North Dakota, you never got that. It was always windy. And I'm like, like, I just want to go outside and just watch the snow. Just.
And I think, we'll get some of that more here, too.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I'm hoping. Okay, that all being said, we are going to transition into this week's edition of 3 Things You Need to Know. Number 1, you might have seen it in the media. It was a very popular thing. Jake Paul finally fought Mike Tyson. Wow. Like, did you watch any of it?
No, I wasn't able to.
Okay, so first takeaway. Jake Paul is half the age of Mike Tyson. Jake Paul is almost 30 years old. Mike Tyson is 58.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, do I want to watch a millennial punch the crap out of an old man? No. Did I? No, because it didn't it didn't happen.
It didn't happen at all.
Like I watched all but the first 2 rounds of the fight, and apparently all of the action happened in the first 2 rounds. Because they fought 8 2-minute rounds, and then if they got knocked out, they would end it. If they ended in a draw, they would go off of who got more hits, right? Because that's how boxing works, apparently. But they were just dancing around the ring for
that's what I've heard.
5 rounds, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you hyped this up for 6 months.
Some people get Netflix back again just so they can watch it and then be disappointed.
Like, that's another thing entirely, because not only was it a disappointing fight for the people who got Netflix back, it didn't work for half the people.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
It was like Netflix has decreased its server usage to the bare minimum, because it's just like nobody uses Netflix anymore because like they cracked down on password sharing, and now every streaming service is doing password sharing. But the thing I love about Netflix is it doesn't have ads. Exactly. It hasn't, and it probably will eventually, because it's just going to follow down the path of all the others. And then that's when Netflix is going to die, in my opinion. Is because that's the only thing that is holding on to is their original content. So like Stranger Things, Outer Banks, Cobra Kai, all of those types of things, and the fact that it doesn't have ads. But it's gonna pretty soon, and I'm so scared.
I believe it.
I'm so scared. But Jake Paul ended up winning the fight. And I was very sad. I was like, I was talking to some of my family members, and they were just like, so if Jake Paul dies tonight, would we be okay with that? And it's like, if it's prime Mike Tyson, it would probably have happened. Like, his head would have been on the mat. Like,
the guy has the most insane punches used to, you know.
And like, there were moments that they were talking about. They were breaking down the fight a little bit afterwards, and they were like, there were moments in the later rounds where he had openings to do it, but he doesn't have the strength to knock somebody out cold anymore. Like there was one jab he had where he punched Jake Paul square in the Adam's apple. And he just laughed it off. He was like it hurt. You could see it. Like, it hurt, but he was just like, I'm putting on a show because I'm an entertainer. And so it's like, they really only did like a hardcore fight for the first 2 rounds, and then they were just circling each other. Like, it's like in Star Wars where it's like, stop circling each other with your lightsabers, hit the person already. It's like, we get it, you're trying to speak and like say the lines, but like, we didn't come to see lightsabers just in your hand. Like, we came to see lightsaber against lightsaber and stuff like
Basically just dancing, you know?
They're just dancing. Jake Paul's an entertainer. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that's number 1. Number 2, this one was interesting. I told you about this one a couple days ago, and so a high school theater troupe in San Francisco put on a show called Confessions of a Teenage Blockhead, which is oddly thematic when we were talking about Peanuts a little bit earlier, but it is a non-canonical written stage play about Charlie Brown in his high school years, and it's like, from what I've read, it's terrible. Like, not like it's bad, but like the content is awful. Like, it touches on bullying and like homophobia, and I'm just like, no. Like, it
was in San Francisco too.
It was in San Francisco, so I'm just like, okay. But the funny thing about this, the thing that I wanted to talk about, is it got canceled. Like, the high school, some of the administrators saw it opening night and they were like, this is not okay. We should not be putting this on. And so they canceled it. And it just stopped. It just stopped. Like, they were just like, nope, that's not going to happen. And it's just like, because like, there's no backing away from the fact that you're going to have cursing in plays, cursing in musicals, things like that. There's no shying away from the fact that you're going to have adult content in those types of things. But a whole Charlie Brown type show?
What are they? They're just trying to ruin it. Yeah.
I'm just like, I get it. You want to take a stab at something that's already kind of been done and want to elaborate on it in a way that other people haven't. But like, honestly, like, choose your audience, dude. Like, I was reading about this and I was just like, this sounds terrible. Like, what kind of an image are you guys trying to put out with this thing?
Obviously was, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Got a lot of attention though.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like,
not great attention.
No. They were just like, we were not aware of the content of the play when we selected it. And they selected it from a list of 4 shows, and they were like, okay, we're going to do this one. And then first night, they were like, nope, shutting this down right now.
They're ruining it. That's the problem.
I think so.
It's getting ruined.
It's so sad. It's so unfortunate. But it's like, it's a medium that I love and that I continue to love. And I tend to look past that side of it and try to appreciate it for the art that it wants to convey. Mm-hmm. Even if I disagree with the content a lot of the time. And it's like, I have shows that I don't like because of the content of it. Yeah. And those are the types of shows that I'm just like, I've saw it. I don't need to see it again. Yep. I listen to the music. I don't need to listen to it again. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you just kind of go away from it and put it out of your mind, and that's it. But like, putting on shows like this for a high school audience scares me a lot. I'm like, if this is the direction we're going into, I'm scared for the future of theater. And
there's probably stuff like that happening all over too.
Yeah, you know, like New York probably is just as bad. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you just hear about these instances, I'm just like, okay, let's calm down a little bit.
I made a documentary about that, so
yeah.
If you want to check Bethany's YouTube channel.
Yeah, Needful, yeah. Subtle plug. Okay, and number 3, I just wrote volcano gophers.
Yeah, I was so confused when you sent me that.
I was just like, here we go. It's so Mount St. Helens, the volcano in Washington State that exploded in the 1980s. It didn't just erupt, it exploded. Like, it was like a dormant volcano that was like, we're building up a lot of pressure, and then just and then
a bunch of people die from that.
I think upper 50s that died, but there were a lot of injuries and like long lasting effects, like how there's still people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki that are affected by like nuclear radiation and stuff. It's like, it's that type of a thing. It's like, it still exists, it still lingers, but only 50 some people died from the initial blast, which was crazy because there's a popular saying in the science world about tsunamis. The best way to avoid a tsunami is not be there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very true.
Yeah, and it's like volcano gophers.
Yeah.
Such a weird thing to tell you about. just like, dude, I found this really crazy thing. But back in 1982, I think it was, a group of people were like, okay, what are we gonna do to see if we can make this area habitable again? Like Wall-E. And so they just dropped a bunch of gophers on the wreckage, and what the gophers did was they burrowed down beneath all the ash and like dug up a bunch of dirt, and so they were actually like able to use the fungus from the dirt below the ash to actually start growing plants again.
Wow.
And that was just on a whim. They were just like, let's throw these gophers over here, see if it works. And it did. And so now there are just gophers living in the ashes of Mount St. Helens.
Interesting.
And they just keep bringing gophers back. They're like, gophers, come here.
Yeah.
And we're going to have you do this stuff. And it's going to be super fun, and you're going to love it, and you're going to get to dig in all the stuff you want to, because there's no people here. And so it's like they've just been digging, and now they can like actually grow stuff.
It's pretty genius.
In that area, which is like a crazy thing to kind of stumble into. It's like, wow, volcano gophers. This is the kind of stuff that I like reading about in the news. I'm just like, it doesn't take me very long to find this stuff either, because my news feed like is acclimated to my weird search habits. And so it's just like, I see random things. It takes me about 90 seconds to find all 3 of my articles for this show, because I'm just like, here I go. But yeah, any thoughts? Any closing thoughts on?
Next time I have a volcano erupt, I'm gonna grab some gophers, and I got that figured out. Yeah.
It saves the ecosystem, man. Just grab some gophers. Well, I think that's going to be our time for today. Thank you so much, Coleton, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it so much.
It was fun.
We might have you back.
I would love it.
To say? But thank you all for listening to this week's installment of For the Gram. If you liked what you heard, you are more than welcome to follow me on Instagram at forthegrahampod, all lowercases, no spaces, or you could send me an email with any feedback you may have at forthegrahampod@gmail.com. But that's all I got for you today. Coleton, any last words of wisdom to the people at home listening to it?
Stay tuned for our Christmas special coming up later, okay?
Let's go. Subtle plug.
Subtle plug coming in.
But as always, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.